Ngiyabonga ngokusebenzisa.
Be sure to catch Business Watch every Wednesday between 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., where we feature the latest updates on business news, market trends, and exclusive interviews with industry leaders, as well as insights on emerging small and medium enterprises in the commercial sector. Business Watch, your business leader.
The beats are louder, the vibes are bigger, and the stars are shining brighter. This is The Beatdown, your ultimate music and entertainment fix. With me every Saturday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Eswatini television, Sibuko Semaswati.
Live from our Coronation Park studios in Babane, it has just gone 10 o'clock Central Africa time. Good evening and welcome to the news at 10, produced by Eswatini Television. I'm Sana Poingwane, alongside Stilognen on sign language. Let's begin here first, your headlines tonight. His Excellency, the Right Honourable Prime Minister Russell Dlamini says government through the Minister of Finance is working on projects to improve the welfare of police officers. His Majesty's Correctional Services has assured the nation that their facilities are in good condition. Deportees from the United States of America have no choice of escaping. And some employers, especially those from the textile industry, do not allow pregnant women to go for medical checkups. Good evening, the news in detail. We begin here our first story. His Excellency, the Right Honourable Prime Minister Russell Dlamini says government through the Minister of Finance is working on projects to improve the welfare of police officers. His Excellency was speaking in Parliament on Monday.
His Excellency, the Right Honourable Prime Minister Russell Dlamini on Monday delivered his preamble on the performance of his office during the first quarter of the 2025-2026 financial year, which was followed by a debate.
General President, Council for Political Tradition. Shortly for that one, the federal action upon something that went to jam. So to miss our cool and the insurance of personal medical aid. Never access to them for a cool, Naga members or cycle manage.
See, I tell you, welfare, my police. Guti basapoteke, phinde babe ne-medical aid. La maphoyisa kumkhulu sesihlalweni. La bantu abanama-uniform, abanama-medical aid. Kude nje lutho, they are just stressed. Bedeke nale mali konke njengoba konke ama-civil servants.
Ngabe vele ka-cabinet, so njalo nakuthi, nisebenza collective. Niyafana yena ikhibo lebuhlungu uthi mhlawumbe ngosemsebentini ukhuluma ngecabinet. Bona mhlawumbe lo muntu wasecabinet ajikela lona lanayo le-cabinet.
Akujabulela silivele eMaswati. Sinakujabulela futhi sesiyiphalamende. Uyibona le collectivity in your working nisasebenta njenge-executive yelive.
His Excellency responded to the debate.
It's ready. Sifisa ukuthi le grand plan aseyiphumile sihlalela kuyo sinamathelela kuyo. Ngoba lokwenta umehluko ethuthukweni lelive. Lo sinasethe plan lihlalela kuyo le-implement. Police housing siyayisebenza lenzaba sekushoda ngetimali kuphela. So sithumile indvuna ete mafa ukuthi ayifune tona timali tekulungisa
tindlu temaphoyisa kungasitodona todo. So manje ke ibe sesisalela emuva lenzaba leyo. So lo siyayazi with the Ministry of Finance.
The Prime Minister's office will submit a report of all the responses before the Honorable Committee on Tuesday. Reporting, Samgalsiwe Khoza and Zimuva Shongwe, Parliament.
The Prime Minister's Portfolio Committee wants clarity on the nature of the agreement that allowed 5 individuals deported from the United States of America to remain in Eswatini. The honourable members were speaking during the debate of the Prime Minister's performance report for the first quarter of the 2025-2026 financial year.
Following a preamble by His Excellency the Right Honourable Prime Minister Russell Dlamini on the performance of his ministry, the Prime Minister's Office Portfolio Committee asked for clarity on a reported agreement between the Kingdom of Eswatini and the United States involving 5 deportees currently in the kingdom.
letawumikisa khona nabantu labangasibo balalo live labalimikisa kulo nama-third party deportees. Siyiphile sakangwane isivumelwane nelive limelini live lemaswati angumholi wahulumeni bathi tena bafika labantu la bavumelene kuthini. 1 2 sitawukenani ngalokufika kwalabantu laba.
Kunema possible deals ngabe soyindile mhlawumbe simise i-uthola deportation noma kuthola imisebenzi noma sikhulisa ikhotha yethu ya-AGOA lokuthi sinenyalo sisayine ini ne-America.
Kune-agreement kukhona into kokuthi nema-terrorists bangawaletha la kangwane, Mr. Chairman. Natimali, Mr. Chairman, is it true yini, Mr. Chairman, lokuthi u-exchange imali etesabekile la kule deal?
I believe in this battle of the challenge la devotion template lapha mathapha nawe mathapha. That is what I believe in.
Ngifuna nje ukuhlola ukuthi kuleyo agreement yasinothikanza in-chair siyabathi akusiko imfihlo obhekane lesibonile of late emkhathini welive lelibomakhelwane bethu nayo iAmerica. Ukuthi ungabe laba labathute lesiphila ngabo mihla yonke akusinothikanza yini sisilimala kuletinye tinzalo.
Invoking Standing Order 81, Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee Nathi Hlophe asked His Excellency the Right Honourable Prime Minister to submit a report of written responses on Tuesday. Reporting Samgalsiwe Khoza and Zimuva Shongwe, Parliament.
The Deputy Prime Minister, the Honourable Thulile Dladla, says she would not be doing justice if she would sit in her office all day without visiting Eswatini on the ground and take care of their needs. The TPM was speaking at Ngwene, where she was officially opening 3 houses which were built by government for the elderly.
The Deputy Prime Minister, Senator Thulile Dladla, started by touring the Ngwene Market and Garden, which is owned by an organization of Ngwene women and has been in existence for quite some time. She joined them in planting the garden and further encouraged them to press on and work in unity for a good production. She says even investors may come on board and assist them financially, who knows. Still under Ngwene, the Deputy Prime Minister proceeded to 3 homesteads where she officially opened 3 houses which were built by government to 3 elderly people. The DPM says theirs as government is to ensure a good livelihood for Maswati and meet their needs where possible.
Asiphumike ngokuthi kumbe sikhuthele yini lo msebenzi lesiniko wona uthi ngeke vele uhlale ehovisi impela ngabe imhlolo uma uhlele ehovisi Dosi mase kubiyelwa lesibayeni kukhanzeke ukuthi lokho lokwasho ingwenyama asikakwendi.
She says the Maswati spoke their heart during the Sibaya session where they asked government to be hands-on and be on the ground in knowing the conditions the Maswati live in. The beneficiaries say their houses would now and again collapse since they were in a dilapidated state. Making things worse is that they live with children, some being school-going children, where their books were destroyed, making life terrible. Government has built countless number of proper houses to deserving citizens and continues to do so. Reporting, I'm Kian MCB with Peggy Mazubugo. eNgwene.
The Ministry of Home Affairs has clarified that tomorrow, the 22nd of July, is not a public holiday as it was in previous years. The ministry issued a statement on its communication platforms reminding the nation that King Eswatini III revoked the holiday in February during the month of Ndlovana, where he declared a new date for the Bukana Festival holiday. Speaking on behalf of the Ministry of Home Affairs, Mlando Dlamini urged the public to report for duty tomorrow as it will be a normal working day. Now, moving on, the Senate says the Ministry of Finance needs to improve the tendering and procurement process without compromising corruption safeguards. Senators were speaking in Parliament on Monday.
When the Senate convened for parliamentary work on Monday, Senator Isaac Makakula, seconded by Senator Stelo Dlamini, moved that the Honourable Minister of Finance, Nel Rickenberg, report to Senate solutions to improve the tendering process.
Structures harmonized kanjani wakhona Eswatini Public Procurement Regulatory Authority bese kuba khona lenye lesikhuluma nge-tender board base banike umsebenzi bantu vele aqhathe la ka procurement lokuthi wena wekunene nangabe usichargile nangu 1 billion wemgwaqo. Sicela ukuthi vele laba badozi lo msebenzi sicela uphele ngaleyo mali lesachajana yona.
The Senate debated the motion.
Dola ka finance lisembisile ukuthi cha liyawubukela ngomthetho ufuneka ukuthi utiko imvume isinikete umbiko lofaka naloko lokuthi sebakhashana kangakanani ukuthi umthetho ufike eParliament.
Lenza lena ikhalisa laba supply yabo kahulumende iphinze ikhalise nesive sonke nje ukuthi kunemsebenzi lecalwako bekweke ukuthi live litawutfutfuka nakuphela nje letakhiwo kube nenjabulo lenkulu kodwa kukhanze ukuthi sekuyadvonsa
lana lo muntu nakanikiwe lo msebenzi ukuthi nayi tender soyitholile uthi ke esekhonda lapha kube sekuphela leti mali angathi ke usiphela kulo muntu yini noma kuba ngihulumende longabhadali lo muntu bese kuba nalenkinga.
The Honourable Minister of Finance, Nel Rickenberg, responded to the motion.
And so that's a commitment that we can make, to say there's legislation for this. Like I say, is being worked on as I speak. And that by October, November, we can have it in Parliament to be able to be reviewed. Madam President, I actually have a full report with me. I don't need 21 days. I think we can. I can table it even today so we can just fast-track the process.
The Honourable Minister of Finance is to submit a report to Senate on possible solutions to improve the tendering and procurement process. Reporting Samgal Siwekoza and Zmuva Shongwe with Temba Shabangu, Parliament.
The Honourable Minister of Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Jane Simelane, says African member states have tasked the United Nations Environment Programme to mobilize revenue for climate change projects. The Honourable Minister was speaking when unpacking the ordinary session of the African Ministerial Conference on the Environment held in Kenya.
With the impact of climate change, United Nations member states in Kenya held the 20th ordinary session of the African Ministerial Conference on the Environment. The Honourable Minister of Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Jane Simelane, said African states have given the United Nations Environment Programme a task to mobilize funds for climate change resilience.
Taskile ke UNEP kulama resolutions ethu kokuthi UNEP ungabe usagcina njenge kubuka tikhwama takamhlaba phuma uyofuna naletinye tikhwama private sector.
The Honourable Minister says UNEP has been a steadfast partner in advancing sustainable development, climate resilience and environment governance across Africa. She says the member states were also encouraged to deepen collaboration with UNEP and ensure that funding translates into tangible impacts on the group. The meeting also resolved that the Ministries of Environment will now fully involve the Ministries of Finance and Economic Planning on climate change programs. Reporting Samgal Siwekoza and Simuva Shongwe, Babane.
His Majesty's Correctional Services has assured the nation that their facilities are in good condition. Deportees from the United States of America have no choice of escaping. This was said by the Deputy Commissioner General Bongani Khumalo in an interview with the news crew.
The Deputy Commissioner General of His Majesty's Correctional Services, Bongani Khumalo, says with the Maswati talking non-stop on the arrival of deportees from the United States, Khumalo has given a Maswati the assurance that their facilities as a correctional facility are up to standard and no inmate has the chance to escape, especially where there's
ngakusho ngaphandle kwekugatsika ukuthi lamajilela wabukile Commissioner General ngekuthunywa live kude nalinye lelicegako ukuthi singaba nelivalo nakunemuntu agcinwe ngakhona ekhathi bonke labagcinela ngekhathi siyathi tsinelo ukuthi kuphephe kangakanani lokuthi sibagcinela ngekhathi kuze kufike ilanga labo lekuphuma.
Deportees are kept. Khumalo says they work according to an act and law which mandates them to treat all inmates the same. Therefore, these ones are not different. They are in good hands. Khumalo goes on to say that theirs is to follow the law and ensure the good health of these inmates like any other. But as far as security is concerned, all is in order. He says they will keep them and trace them until their time to go to their respective countries comes. Reporting MKN MCB with Lilith Mhlanga and Nokpiwa Mpamali, Luyengo.
Some employers, especially those from the textile industry, do not allow pregnant women to go for medical checkups. The workers are threatened and informed that they will not get paid or that they will lose their jobs should they go to the hospital. These were the findings from the Ministry of Health Portfolio Committee when they visited some companies. They also had a meeting with SAFAIDS where they discussed SRH issues.
SAFAIDS had a discussion with the Ministry of Health Portfolio Committee where they discussed access to sexual and reproductive health services by the youth in the country. The shocking part is that the Portfolio Committee and the SADC Parliamentary Forum conducted a study where they find that women who work in the textile industry are not afforded the opportunity to go for check-ups during pregnancy. It is said they are told one word that if they leave for hospital, they will not get paid or lose their jobs.
Masifika emafemini sikhanzeke ukuthi incumbi yalabantu labasha labalapha emafemini abakhoni kuya etibhedlela.
The Member of Parliament says they have tried addressing the matter with the Minister of Commerce and that of the Minister of Health.
Kulamalanga live libhekene nengcinamba ekubabeni kwemithi ngiletinye tikhalu letivelile letivedwe bantu abasha.
SAFAID's country director Xolani Nhleko says the discussion is important because they do hope that these gaps will be addressed.
Bathi akube nalama life skills. Mina nje ngwaka health ngicabanga ukuthi umqoka uthi sibethembe laba abafuna kubambisa leave.
The Minister of Health Portfolio Committee Chairperson Honorable Sandile Nxumalo says they will ensure that they address the issues and submit them to the Minister of Health. Some teenagers who fall pregnant and go to access services in the hospitals and clinics of the country, it is said they receive harsh words from the hospital staff because of their pregnancy, leading to some opting for suicide. Reporting MKN MCB with Lilith Mhlanga and Nokpiwa Mpamali, Manzini.
The Kingdom of Eswatini is urged to align with continental trade standards as the country strengthens its participation in the African Continental Free Trade Area. This is during the Eswatini Standards Authority Eswasa training and awareness program targeting industry stakeholders on the role of harmonized African standards in driving trade under the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA.
In partnership with the African Organization for Standardization, ARSO, the training focuses on equipping local regulators and SMEs with the knowledge needed to adopt and implement uniform standards across the continent. Secretary General of the African Organization for Standardization, Hermogene Nsengimana, stresses that while Africa Continental Free Trade Area opens a market of over 1 billion people, its success relies on the widespread adoption of compatible standards among member states.
If you are not using the African Harmonized Standard, the industries have the right to say, why are you stopping my product while I conform to African standard? You cannot trade as a continent if you don't have harmonized standard, if you don't have equivalence in technical regulation, if there is no acceptability of the result, the test result.
Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Trade, Melus Masuku, says Eswatini's alignment with international and regional standards boosts the credibility of domestic products in global markets, although there is a need to close critical gaps to create a level ground for businesses to trade efficiently.
To fully leverage the benefits of the AfCFTA and align more closely with ARSO's frameworks, the Kingdom of Eswatini must enhance several aspects of its quality infrastructure.
Eswatini Standards Authority Executive Director Ncamiso Mhlanga says the authority is working towards the adoption of some of ARSO's standards. However, there is a need for the improvement of infrastructure and understanding of technical regulations.
Some of these products, before they are sent out to this lucrative market, they will need to comply with standards and also comply in terms of quality. For now, we are nearing about 400 standards as SWASA, that standards that we have developed. The way we are doing it is based on demand.
Last year, the Ministry of Commerce reported that about 32% of formal SMEs in Eswatini were aware of AfCFTA requirements. The national AfCFTA strategy targets to increase compliance rate by 50% by the year 2026, with a focus on high potential export sectors such as agro-processing and value-added crafts, among others. For Eswatini TV News, Nosilesi Tole, Vumingo Sentinisa and Derek Msibi, Ezulwini.
Right, let's segue into the world of business, where we take a look at financial indicators that will give us a sense of how markets performed today in the Up Next financial report.
Standard Bank.
Now, sports news, the Chief Executive Officer of the Olympic and Commonwealth Games Association in the country, Maxwell Jele, says he is hopeful that the Sports Act recently discussed in Parliament will help improve the development of sports infrastructure and raise the standard of sports to an internationally competitive level. Jele says the nation is aiming to achieve an Olympic medal within the next 5 years. He was speaking during the strategic plan meeting held at Peaks Peak Hotel this past weekend.
Eswatini is still struggling to achieve a podium finish at the Olympics. In an effort to change that, the Eswatini Olympics and Commonwealth Games Association, IOCA, held a meeting this past weekend with its affiliates and Eswatini Sports and Recreation Council to develop a 4-year strategic plan.
Besitsingitsa tona letindzaba mhlambe nato letingcinamba letikhona kakhulu. Sijabulile kubona ngoma solo siyalandzelela nema processes lachubekako kahulumende ikakhulu la hambisana netindzaba tabo Sports Act kwekuthi le process yekupromulgate Sports Bill into a Sports Act sesisondzele sesiyangakhona.
Jele says the biggest stumbling block in sports development in the country is the lack of proper facilities. He adds that they are hoping the Sports Act will be passed in Parliament as it will enable companies to finance sports. Robert Mtswage, a facilitator from Zimbabwe, said the meeting will help by starting at the grassroots level to identify proper talent and eventually establish clear pathways to the top. However, he emphasized that this requires patience and commitment.
There is a conveyor belt, right from talent identification up to podium performance. So they will work with that. but a lot of resources will be required, a lot of work will be required, but I think we are on the right trajectory now. But you must tell the Eswatini to exercise more patience. I know people cannot wait forever, but it will come in stages.
Following the meeting, the official strategic development plan will soon be presented and implemented soon. Over 30 participants attended the two-day workshop. Reporting, I'm Linda Dlamini with Bonke Dlamini, Pix Peak.
Right, that's how we hit the home stretch of the news at 10 here at Eswatini TV. Before we go, here's a quick reminder of news-making headlines tonight. His Excellency, the Right Honourable Prime Minister Russell Dlamini says government through the Ministry of Finance is working on projects to improve the welfare of police officers. His Majesty's Correctional Services has assured the nation that their facilities are in good condition. Deportees from the United States of America have no choice of escaping. Now, some employers, especially those from the textile industry, do not allow pregnant women to go for medical checkups. Right, and just like that, we've come to the conclusion of the Monday edition News at 10 at Eswatini Television. Thanks so much for choosing to stay with us. Up next, we cross over to the Weather Center for a detailed weather report from us and the team at Eswatini TV. For now, it is good night and God bless.
When you choose your adventures, you do so with an open heart and a desire for the unexpected. You embark on journeys to discover new worlds, full of wonder. You choose a path to awaken your senses